To inspire, to uplift, different people share their gifts. A safe space and open door on a journey to explore human beings.
Happy Monday, and we are back and we are live. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Welcome to A Human Being. I am your host, Dwayne Wiggins Jr., and I am so excited tonight that I have a special guest here with us tonight. Unfortunately, my co-host is not here tonight. However, she will be with us on next Monday, but I have a very exciting, super duper, I don't even know what to say, guest with me tonight. Y'all have seen me post, y'all have seen me talk about her and all of the great things. So I want to jump right in to talk about my special guest on tonight. But before I do that, I want y'all to do me a favor. I want y'all to share and get the people in here talking. We got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We got a lot of things to discuss. We got so much that we are going to be going over. But as I said, I'm excited to have my guest with me tonight. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait for y'all to see who it is. But I want to say again, we shout out to Ana, who's not with us tonight, my co-host who's with me every single Monday. We are back for season 2, part 2, episode 9, talking about our show tonight, the Bucket List Adventures. So we're going to dive into that conversation tonight. But thank you all so much for joining us. If you are watching, please make sure that you share with individuals that may want to see the show, that may need to be inspired by the show on tonight. So thank you all so much. Thank you. I'm just excited to be back. I feel like I'm just thanking y'all so much. And I think it's because I've missed y'all, and for us to be able to have conversation and to talk about different things. This is a perfect opportunity and a perfect platform for us to always be able to come back and just have an opportunity to share, what we're going through, what we're experiencing, and just the fun times that we can have on this platform. So I am just so grateful for each and every person that comes along each day to send us words of encouragement, to inspire us to be a part of the show, to continue to do this work and continue to do this show. We're gonna talk about this little something that's behind me in a moment. But while we're waiting to do that, I want to bring on my special guest tonight. Y'all, if you somewhere, like, I need you to make a drum roll for my guest. Make a drum roll for my guest tonight. Make a drum roll for my guest. My special guest tonight is none other than my beloved sister, all the way from San Diego, Chantel Clark.
Hi, everybody.
Listen, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this so much. You have no idea. I have been waiting for us to be able to come on and to talk and to do this show. I'm thrilled.
I'm like, yes, okay.
So, sister, I have to ask you, how do you feel? How do you feel about the show? How do you feel being a guest on A Human Being?
You know what? I feel special. I feel very special. I feel excited about it. I'm grateful for the opportunity to actually be a guest on your show. Like, I never thought I would do this, but I'm happy to be here tonight. Like, I'm happy that it's St. Patrick's Day. We look cute, I'm excited.
I love that for us. It is St. Patrick's Day. We are here. We are ready to talk tonight and just have a great conversation. So I'm so excited that you're here, that you're joining tonight. I'm thrilled, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know it was super last minute, but you pulled it together real good. You looking like something.
Hey, anything for my boo. Anything for my boo. I got you.
So I'm just really excited. So let's dive into conversation. So we've been on break for some months. We did our last show in December, and now we're here on March 17th. And I want to know, in the last 3 months, like, what have you been up to? Like, what have you been up to in these last few months?
All right. So, Happy New Year to everybody, since we are coming back in the new year, right? So I've been to Philadelphia a lot.
I know. Like, oh my God. I feel like you've been to Philadelphia more than you've been in San Diego since you came back.
Yeah, so since I've been back from deployment, I've been to Philadelphia 4 times. I will go. I'm on my way back, by the way. So starting out with celebrating our baby's birthday, Jamari, starting his birthday out. Then we celebrated your birthday. We went to your summit. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I enjoyed every bit of it. We celebrated Eric's birthday, like everything, and then my birthday last week. My birthday was last weekend, so
I know
it's been a month of celebration.
It's been a month of just celebrating everybody's birthday and just celebrating all the amazing things that are happening. And I'm grateful that you've been here so much, because I'm like, if people that know, they know like we are super close.
Yes.
And they know that, we spend a lot of time together. I can't even count how many times like I've been to San Diego. In the years that you've been there a total of 19 years, right?
Yeah, 19 going on 20.
This 20
years in San Diego.
20 years. Oh my gosh, yes. 20 years. So like, how do you feel about
So first of all, these 20 years have flown by. I never thought I would look up and say that I was able to serve in the military almost 20 years. So it's been going great. I love it. I love what I do, and I'm grateful. And to actually be in my dream state for all these years has been super amazing for me.
I know. So the thing that's so exciting is that knowing that you've talked about always wanting to live in California. Like I remember like even being like a young child, like that was like always like your dream to live in California. So like if you think about it, like that could be a bucket list thing. Like, because we're talking about bucket list adventures. So we're talking about that tonight. We'll dive into that conversation really deep a little later. But when you think about you always wanted to live in California, like what was it that really like drew you there? Like what was it about California since you were a teenager? Like that you talked about that being your place, and now you've been here, like been in California for almost 20 years.
All right. So growing up, you know how we used to always talking about what we wanted to do when we grow up, and we used to draw out our houses and everything. Like I used to always imagine myself, the few things that I wanted to do in life were real estate, become a lawyer, or become a doctor. I never imagined that I would be in the military. So growing up, I remember one time I said, hey, I want to go to California and practice real estate. Want to go to California and practice being a doctor. Well, one time we were in church.
Good old church.
Girl, church. So we was in church one time. My sister Danielle, me and Danielle, we were playing in church, and probably the lady, she came to us and she started getting on us. She was like, "Y'all need to stop playing in church." And so she started prophesizing to us, and she told me, she said, "You want to be a doctor? You want to be a lawyer? Lawyers and doctors never practice in California. In Florida, the money is in California." And she kept telling me that. But this lady had no idea who we were. She knew nothing about us, but she kept talking about it. And I'm looking around like, how did she know me? How did she know what I want? Like, I didn't know. So I felt like it was a word from God to tell me to stop playing around, get on my grind, and move to where I said I wanted to go. And this lady, ever since, I will never forget that. So I've been in California ever since. When they asked me in boot camp, where you want to go? San Diego. And I have been here ever since.
I love that. I love San Diego. I feel like it's one of the most exciting places. Like, first of all, it's so beautiful. It's just the weather is just so beautiful. It's actually like when we talk about like bucket lists, maybe be a place that one day, who knows? But I love it. I love it because it's just like a place where you feel so peaceful, and it's just so great. So I love the fact that you live there, that I get to come visit whenever I want to. So absolutely. I love that. I love that. Again, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I have my special guest here with me tonight, none other than my blood sister, Chantel Clark. Our co-host, Ana, is not with us tonight, but hopefully she'll be back with us again on next Monday night when we will be right back here, same place, same time. Maybe a little bit more on time. Well, we were running a little late tonight because prior to this, I did something so amazing. I had an opportunity to have an interview tonight on the Dr. Whitty show. And it was really, really great. I did post it to my social media, and I know that you said you had an opportunity to watch it. And thank you all for everybody that tuned in to watch tonight. I'm just so grateful for that. So shout out to Dr. Whitty for inviting me to be a part of that show to just talk about mental health, which I am so passionate about, and that so it's just what I love to do. I love to talk and educate people on mental health and encourage people to really, do what they need to do for themselves and their mental health. So yeah, so I'm excited that you're here. So thank you so much, Ann, for filling in tonight for Ana. So we send in love and shout out to Ana tonight. Hopefully she's watching, but if not, then she could always go back and watch the replay.
So I want to know, what have you been up to? I see you have books behind you. I want to know what you've been up to these last few months, brother.
Listen, I did a little something. These last couple of months have been so amazing. When I think about, all that I've done, we had the holidays, of course, like you said, Happy New Year to everybody. Because I don't think that we were here for the we did a Happy New Year show. We stopped in, I thought we stopped in December. We actually stopped in January. It just came back to my recollection. Like we were just off for a couple. I feel like I've been gone from y'all for so long.
For too long. It's been too
long. But no, I'm saying Happy New Year. Like I didn't talk to y'all in the New Year, but we did our last show like around January 20th or something like that. So in that time, there's been so much that have been happening. I had an opportunity to go to present my Are You Okay Summit in Modesto, California. I was there for a weekend and ended up met with hundreds of people just to talk about different mental health things. It was an actual summit to where they can go to different breakout rooms and talk about different things. But I presented on Are You Okay? Mm-hmm. And then I left Modesto and went all the way over to South Carolina and Greenville and had an opportunity to be with Greenville. Shout out to Greenville and all the people down there that I was with them for a week. Just presenting and talking and sharing on all things after school programming and things like that. And I had an opportunity to present there twice. I presented my Thrive workshop. The Thrive workshop focuses on teaching people how to really work with their employees and how to treat their employees in leadership. That's a big focus. And then also my focus on mental health, I presented Are You Okay there as well. So then when I finished that for the week, came back, celebrated my birthday. The summit was the next day. Been working on getting this book out and it's done. It's here. They're stacked up behind me and I'm so grateful for that. It's such a labor of love because, when I think about bucket lists and I think about goals and things that I wanted to achieve, I've really been working on writing a book and for a long time. And there's been so many things that have really just hindered me from doing that, like my own insecurities of saying who's going to read something that I write, or I'm not that great of a writer, whatever the case may be. There were so many different things that I was talking myself out of. So even when I started to write out and I'm going to tell you the number one thing, if I'm just being very transparent, and this is for everybody out there that's looking to want to write a book or whatever the case may be, let this be your encouragement. One of the things that was really hindering me from writing was looking at what everybody else was doing. And it wasn't necessarily comparing myself to them in a sense of, oh, this is a New York Times bestseller or anything like that. I just felt that I wanted to write a book that it needed to be thick. It needed to be this. It needed to be that. So I would look at all these books because I am an avid reader. I love to read books. Of all kinds. So I'm looking at, this book is 300 and 400 pages. And why this book is this many pages. So I felt like my books had to be that long. And one day something just registered in my head and was just write until you don't have anything else to say with this, put a stamp on it and call it a day. Right. So it's one of those things to where I really was comparing all of my process and my progress to what others have already achieved. And so I do want to encourage those that if you have a book that you want to write or something that you want to achieve, don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. You do you, because I'm always keeping it real, right? When I first moved to Philadelphia, I had this idea of writing a book. I wanted to write a book and I really wanted to put it out there, and it just didn't happen. I had a whole book party, lunch party and everything with no books. Right. So it was one of those things to where the intention was there. The intent was to come up with this thing. That I'm a writer, so I love to write. I'm writing the plays, and I just didn't know the concept. Didn't do enough research about it. So it's I had this whole party of a book that I was going to write and put it out there, and it just never came to fruition. And so the time went by. So honestly, it was discouraging because in my head, it's oh, well, you tried this before. So
Right.
you might not succeed at this. So you tried it before, so it didn't come to fruition. But this time around, with maturity and just growing up, it was just like you have to do what you feel led to do within your heart. So I wrote this book, and I said to myself that, it don't have to be a lot of pages, although it's a pretty good sized book, but it's a workbook inside as well, to where people can do work on it and do all of these amazing things inside of the book. And the encouragement is that when people read this book, I really want people to just walk away, really feeling that they have a deeper understanding of their mental health and the importance of reaching out for support. Because the book really emphasizes on the fact that it's okay not to be okay, and that it's okay to seek help. So it's like, I am here to encourage people that this is the route that we need to go in. Like, this is what we're doing. We're doing this work. And so when the more passionate I became about that, the more I felt like it was time to release something. Because, the book started with just a regular conversation. Then I hosted something on Facebook with a panel, and I started doing the summits, and I started doing the workshops, and I'm like, what's next? So it only felt right for me to come out with the book, to really just give people a package deal of what I've been presenting all across the United States over the last few years. So that was the love that I have with the book. So
yeah, well, I will say that I'm very excited to read it. As a matter of fact, I'm flying to Philly to get mine personally. But I do want to ask you this though. I know the book that you say you did not finish, which I'm still looking forward to that one coming out.
Okay.
I feel that, in order for that, when you get that one out and ready, everyone is going to have to read Are You Okay in order to be ready for the next one. So
listen, I tell people all the time, like, when I think about, like, this is how can I say this? This is a narrative of my life, right? I'm going to say it like this. The narrative of my life has been, I accomplish something, I do it, move on to the next.
Right.
And the older I get, the more I realize that I don't want that to be my life. Like, I really want to take a moment to embrace, the things that I've accomplished. For many years, I've written plays, I produced and directed plays and music and stuff like that. I've done it for so long. And it was always, once you finish a show, we go to the next show, or anything that I've done. But I want to get to a place in my life, and this is the work that I'm doing on myself, and as I said, I love to self-reflect. So I'm always self-reflecting of how to be better, be a better person. So for me, I want to take this time to really, really enjoy this year. I am not in a space, a headspace, a mind space, or any of those types of spaces to even focus on another book at the moment.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of people do put that pressure on you. Like, they'll say, like, when is the next one coming out? I'm like,
you read this one first.
Right? Because what we did was I feel like for my success, when I did my vision board and I thought about, what I wanted to accomplish, I thought about this. My goal, I believe on my vision board said to sell 100 books. Like, I've done that. Like, I've done it. Within like 3 weeks or so, we sold books. Like, and so, and I never knew like how this was going to work or what it was going to do or like what the outcome was going to be. Do I think some people purchased the book because they love me? Absolutely. But I also think some people purchased the book because some people are very serious about their mental health. And I hope that when they read it, that they'll be able to really have a takeaway to say, like, I feel like I have a better understanding about mental health versus mental illness, because I do discover that in the book. I feel more vulnerable to share about my feelings and how I feel, because that's written in there. And then also how to have conversations and how to check in with people. I feel like that is important, and allowing people, to be able to share without judgment. I feel like that is so important. So when is the next book going to happen? I don't know. But right now, I'm going to embrace this moment and really, really enjoy this moment. But the encouragement in this, the encouragement in all of this is that I've done it, which means I know I can do it again.
Absolutely.
That's the
I'm very, very, very proud of you. And I'm excited to get the book and read it for myself. Not only for myself, but something that I can actually take back to personnel in the military, because being in the military, we know that mental health is a big issue amongst our sailors, soldiers, So I'm really excited. I'm definitely going to purchase some books from some of my coworkers too.
I love that. And I thank you for
Absolutely.
your support. I think that's so important. And I thank you for what you have contributed to the military for almost 20 years. Like, I'm sure it hasn't been easy, but your service to and dedication to this country does not go unnoticed from me. I'm so grateful that I have a sister that I can say that I know that goes to work every single day to protect our country, to fight for our country. And even in the times that we're living in right now, where there's such a so much noise, I'll say that there's so much noise happening surrounding federal government and the military, that you are still standing strong and still willing to go fight for our country. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you. I love you. So yeah, thank you so much again for joining us on this show. Where tonight, y'all, we are talking really about bucket lists or like goals. So, sister, I want to dive into the conversation and just really talk to you about some of your things that you have on your bucket list. I'll say this: a book was on my bucket list. It was one of the things that I wanted to complete at the by the end of 2024. It seemed so impossible. I didn't think that I was, because I was like not even almost done. And then on December 30th into the 31st, I completed the entire book. Just stayed up and just wrote, and it was on my list. I did not think that I was going to accomplish it, but I did. And so it was on my bucket list to always be able to say that I'm an author. So now that I can say that, I am grateful. So I want to talk about you and your bucket list. Like, so what are some things that you have on your bucket list?
All right. So one of the things that I've actually already accomplished already on my bucket list was going skydiving.
Awesome.
A lot of people don't know that I did that, but I went skydiving, was back in 2013. I don't know what prompted me to do it. I was like, oh, I think I want to go skydiving. Sometimes it's like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So I decided to go skydiving, and it was one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever experienced. I will say I will never do it again. It was one and done. But during that time, it was so exciting. I was very scared, nervous. And some of the advice I would give about that is don't ask the instructor, was it his first time or how long he's been skydiving, because he's going to scare you. But that was one of the things that was one on my bucket list. Traveling, I want to travel more. So now I have traveled a lot with the military, but I want to travel without the military on my own, vacation wise and cruises. I have never done a cruise. So I'm wanting to do a cruise that is outside of the military. I'm heard it's a lot different.
I find that amazing that how much time you spent on a ship that you want to go on a cruise ship. Listen, I love that for you.
Well, I'm pretty sure the living arrangements will be different, but I'm excited about trying out a cruise and going to different places and locations without the military. And then also I want to be able to take our kids on a vacation out of the country, something that is going to be different for all of us to experience.
I love that. So what I want to do, what's always important to me, is that I always want to give people like backstory. When you think about, what is a bucket list, I want to give, because like people may say, why would you say goals? It's like a figure of speech. It's almost like this, but why people say bucket list? Because when we think about the phrase, remember the phrase that people used to say, like, before you kick the bucket, meaning that you were going to die. So it was like those things to say, I am going to put this on my bucket list, and these are the things that I want to complete before I pass away or before I kick the bucket. All right. So that's the origin of it. So a bucket list is a collection of experiences, achievements, or goals that a person wants to accomplish before they kick the bucket. All right. So do you remember, have you ever heard of this movie called The Bucket List? You ever heard of that movie?
And I watched it. It was amazing.
It's so good. It's starring Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it. But it's about two terminally ill men who embark on the road trip to fulfill their list of things that they want to do before they die. So the film brought the idea into mainstream culture, promoting many people to reflect on their life goals. So if you have not seen it, please make sure that you go check out The Bucket List, starring Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, because it is an encouraging movie to make sure that you follow, like, kind of, achieve your goal. So when you think about this movie, like the psychological perspective of the movie, right? The idea of creating a bucket list taps into the human desire for fulfillment and purpose. It encourages individuals to actively think about what they want to achieve in their lifetime, promoting self-reflection and personal growth. So overall, a bucket list serves as a motivational tool for people to live life to the fullest and prioritize experiences that brings joy and satisfaction. So that is important to me. So when I think about some of the things that you said, it sounds like there's like with the cruise and skydiving, I know that your adrenaline had to be rushing. It was something that you feel like, if I think too much about it, I'm going to step away from it. Right.
I almost did not go through with it. I went with a coworker and we were like hooked up to our tandem divers. And as we were in the plane and we were talking, first and foremost, I got to set the scene. So before I had my hair
set the scene, girl. Set it.
Before I had my hair locked, I wore wigs to work, because being a parent at the time, who had time to do hair? Not me. So I went skydiving, and then when I was there, I was not thinking about falling out of the sky and my wig flying off. Right. So the guy was like, "Do you want to put on? We're gonna give you a helmet." So first and foremost, I look like Amelia Earhart. Right. Trying to go skydiving, so make sure it's tied down pretty good.
Amelia Earhart, I am dying.
I was like, oh my God. I said, am I going to regret this? I hope not. So we get up there, we slide into the edge of the plane, and he said, you ready? I said, no. He said, okay, we went. And I was like, oh my God. But at the same time, I still felt my wig slipping under that helmet. So we finally landed, and I was like, Lord, thank you, Jesus, for letting me land, but I'm never doing that again. But I will say that it was really fun. They made it fun. We landed safely, and that was it. That was a one and done thing, baby. I will never do that again.
I love that. I love that. One of the things that you talked about is traveling. And for me, I think I've shared this on the show before, that honestly, traveling has not been a thing that has been on my bucket list before in life, because I always felt like, I don't know, I think that because I never really thought that far out in my mind about like, oh, these are the possibilities. Like, you can travel, like you can do these things. But now that I've experienced life a little more, I am so with traveling. Like, I want to travel. Like, I don't think I think about like countries. Like, I don't know what I think about, but I do want to go places. Like, that's like something that's on my mind. And I know that you've experienced a lot of countries. So I don't know if those things were on your bucket list, but share with us some of the countries that you've been able to visit and like your experiences with that.
Look, first and foremost, it's some of those countries I never even knew existed.
I get that.
One of the places that I've been to was Saipan, and it was very beautiful. It's a small island. It's very beautiful. They have caves, beautiful water. Some of my favorite places I've been to were South Korea, and I know people probably be like, "Wait, what? South Korea?" Oh, let me tell you, if you haven't been, you need to go. It's beautiful. The food is amazing, and I love to eat, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I love to eat.
Is that what you had, the chitlins?
Don't do that. That was Thailand, y'all. So let me tell y'all, first of all, my brother, no, he got jokes in that, but we do not eat chitlins, y'all. We don't.
We do not eat chitlins.
We don't eat chitlins. My mom did not pay us to eat chitlins for nothing in our life, right? She could not. So I decided I went to Thailand. It was December 2023. We were in Thailand for about a month and a half, and we were celebrating one of our friends' birthdays. And he goes, I will pay for your meal if you eat this chitlin. I'm like, do I have to? But he's talking about a free meal. So I was like, okay, well, the chitlin was grilled. It was a grilled chitlin, y'all. And my brother would not let me live that down because I definitely ate it and I got my meal for free. But just so y'all know, I do not eat chitlins. I do not eat chitlins. Thailand was absolutely amazing. I actually been seeing a lot of people moving to Thailand, and but it's beautiful over there. It's so much to do. It's very cheap, costly. Like, we can go and get like a huge meal. Like I said, I like to eat, so I'm gonna talk about food. But it was beautiful seeing the sightseeing, the experiences that I've had over there. Japan is beautiful. I've been to Guam. Guam is still a part of the U.S., but it's still a place that people need to go to if you haven't been. I loved it. I love every bit of it. Hawaii. part of the U.S. still, but still I recommend going. So I will say my favorite places that I have been all together are Thailand, South Korea, and Japan. And I really want to experience going to Spain. That's where I want to go to next.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Oh my gosh. So, and listen, at this point, I can travel with you. I will go. I've done some traveling, but like I think the problem, as much as I love food, the food just got to be good. Like I just cannot.
Yes,
I cannot.
So another place that I've been to was Australia. I just got back from Australia.
That is my dream place. So remember, I was going to Australia. Like, listen, y'all, I was on my way to Australia. Like, it was the trip of a lifetime. Like, it was going to be the trip of the lifetime. We were going, like, there was a whole trip booked. It was paid for. Oh my gosh. And then this little thing called the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was so devastated. I was doing like a countdown, and the countdown was happening so like we know that like the real start of the pandemic was like in March, around this time, like it was in March, right? And I was leaving to go to Australia in May. I was there, and I was still holding on, and it was like, and things were not getting better. So it was just like wisdom for me, because they kept saying like, no, we're still going to go. If you want a refund, you can get a refund. And it just came to a point for me to where I was like, I'm just going to take the refund.
Yeah.
I go. And it was so heartbreaking because, like I said, it was a trip that was planned. The trip was, they gave you opportunity like to upgrade to like first class to fly. And if anybody know, like that is a long flight. Isn't it like 24, 25 hours, 26
hours? 20 hours. It was 20 hours to get back home. And let me tell you, baby, if you can't sleep well, you're going to be up anxious. But thank God for me, I sleep a lot.
Right. So it's a long flight. And so I think right now I'm just grateful that I know that there's some people in my family that experienced. Our grandmother went to Australia on a cruise, but the trip was it was like we were going to 3 different places. We were going to Sydney, we were going to Melbourne, and I'm not going to say this right, but it starts with a C. Is it Cairns? Yes.
Yeah. Why do you spell that with the R for silent?
I know. It's like we were going to 3 different locations. It was going to be an amazing time. And I was so excited about the opportunity to go, but unfortunately I didn't. So one day I'll get there. One day. But that's like, if I had a dream place, that's where I would go.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. I had a really great time. So I look forward to trying to travel more. We're going to see what the military send me next. I've been in California for so long. They be trying to get me out, but I'm like,
no, if I can stay, I'm staying. No, don't send me nowhere. I'm staying, y'all. I'm staying.
Right.
I'm staying there.
Right.
I'm so grateful again to you tonight for joining us. And for you all that are watching, thank you so much for watching A Human Being tonight. My co-host, Ana Henderson, is not here with us tonight, but hopefully she will be back on next Monday. Tonight, I have my special co-host with me, my special guest co-host with me, my sister, Chantel Clark, my blood. She is the sibling, so I'm the oldest, and she's right under me. And we are super, super close. So I'm just glad. Like, I can literally be on here with her all night because there's so much that we share. We're trying to stick with the show theme tonight. Bucket list adventure. So I'm excited about that. But there's just so much that I can talk to her about. And it's like we talk every single day. You would almost think that we didn't have nothing to talk about.
There's always
something to talk about. Right. And you would almost think that we could not learn more stuff about each other, but we continue to do that all the time. And I'm just so grateful to be her big brother. I'm so grateful that she's my sister. And I'm just so grateful that she's here joining me tonight.
I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. So I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. So when I think about like bucket lists, I want to share these tips because you know that I cannot leave without sharing practical tips with people about, how to conform your bucket list or your goal list. And what's for me, what I think is that creating a realistic and achievable bucket list can be exciting and fulfilling. It can be, the process of it can be really great because it really helps you to begin to explore all of the options within you and the things that you can do. So I want to give you some tips. I'm not going to give you a lot.
Let me write them down.
I know, you can write them down. I want to give everybody that's watching some tips, and hopefully you come back and watch, or if you're watching our show, but I cannot not be on this show and not give you some tips and guides to help you, to create your goal list or your bucket list. Okay. So number one, reflect on your values and interests. Okay. You know that, sister, I say this often. I am really big on self-reflection. I tell people this all the time. I think it is very crucial to make sure that you self-reflect, that you take the time to really just take a moment to reflect and just to understand who you are, understand, some things about yourself. Okay.
Yes.
So when you're considering what truly matters to you, identify activities and experience that resonate with your passions, values, and personal goals. That's important because I don't want people creating bucket lists and just saying like, oh, this is just something I want to know. Align it with your passions, your values, and your personal goals. Okay?
Got it.
All right. Number 2, start small. Like I'm a big dreamer. I don't think there's nothing wrong with dreaming big. Not at all. Like I feel like you can dream big and you can go all out if you want to, but I think that you want to do some things that's achievable, right? Like you want to make sure that when you are, setting your goals, that you start small, beginning with smaller, more manageable goals. Like those are the things that are important, because what tends to happen is that I'm gonna tell y'all on like a little secret. I am a checklist person. I love to write checklists. And so that I feel accomplished sometimes, if I do something that's not on my checklist, I write it down, I check it off, and I highlight it. Because there's nothing like seeing a win, right? Like we all want to feel that we are achieving. We want to feel that we're doing something. So the thing is, a lot of times we set ourselves up on goals that are not realistic. And when we don't achieve those goals, we become weary and well-doing. So our heart is pure and our intent is good. But when we don't set ourselves up for success, we automatically become weary. So we feel like we want to accomplish it. So start small. That includes like when you're doing things you want to do, like local experiences or activities are easier to accomplish. Giving yourself a sense of achievement to build up on. So start with something local. Like if there's like a local farmer's market or something that you want to do, add that to your bucket list and say, I think I want to one Saturday before the summer, I am going to go to this farmer market that I ride past every single week. Start small and then work your way up to bigger goals. Okay. My next tip is to be specific. Say what you want. Like I am a firm believer that like when you put out there exactly what you want into the atmosphere, like that's the thing that you will receive. So really just be specific about what you want. So instead of being vague on like your bucket list or in your entries, specify the destination or the experience, such as if you want to visit the Eiffel Tower in Paris, you don't want to go see the Eiffel Tower that's in Las Vegas. You want to see the one that's in Paris. All right? So be very specific about what it is that you want to achieve. Okay? So that's important. So right now we have reflect on your values and your interests. What's the next one? I want you to read it back to me.
Start small.
Okay, what's next?
And be specific.
All right. Yes, that's it. So
I want to add something to that too, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So in the military and how you're giving us this information, we have a similar thing, and our acronym is SMART.
Yes, SMART goals.
Yes, so have SMART goals, right? And the acronym stands for be specific.
Yep.
Right. Make sure it's measurable. Make sure your goal is within you can measure it, right?
Can I stop you right there?
Yes.
Because that goes to our next one. Set a time frame. Go ahead, finish telling your story. Set a time frame.
Right. Make sure it's achievable.
Yes.
Relevant and time bound.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So when we're talking about setting a time frame of your goals, consider creating a short-term 1 to 5 years or long-term 5+ years categories within your bucket list. This will help you prioritize and plan accordingly. So when you're thinking about the time frame of what you want to achieve, that is super important, because like if you say I want to do something, that can just be anytime. It'll never become a priority to you, right? I'll give you like when I said that I wanted to complete this book, it was important for me to have it done by the end of 2024.
Yep, and you did.
I finished it on December 31st.
You did it.
But I did it.
It was still 2024 though.
Right, it was still 2024. So I was so happy about that. Oh, and you were here, right? Wait, you took a picture. Oh, you took a picture when I created the cover. Not when I actually completed. Yes, you were here.
Right,
for that.
right.
So that is so important to like set a set time frame on when you want to accomplish the thing that you want to accomplish. And the final thing, there's so much more that I can go because I could talk about this all night and all day. But the final thing that I want to share with you, which is so important, so important, is to visualize your goals. Because you can put it down, but if you can't see it, then you will think like, oh, it's not achievable or whatever the case may be. You have to be able to believe that if you want to achieve it, that it can happen. So visualize, start seeing yourself in this goal. Start seeing yourself accomplishing these things that you want to complete. Okay? So, sister, read them back to the people so they'll know how to establish their bucket list.
So first and foremost, consider what resonates with you, what you want to do, right? Reflect on your values and interests. 2, start small. Make sure that it's attainable and that you're going to be able to do it, right? 3, be specific in what you want to do. Don't try to go to the Eiffel Tower in Vegas, like you said.
Right. I want to see the Eiffel Tower in Paris,
right?
Not in Las Vegas, in Paris.
And then 4, make sure you set a time frame so that way you are not stressing yourself out about not meeting your goal in time, right? And then last but not least, visualize yourself. You have to see it so that you can believe it.
That's it. Those are like the foundational things to really just help you to really want to accomplish, the things that you want to accomplish. So I think it's great. Oh, Dr. Whitty is watching us. I want to put up, he said, that's what I did when I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to achieve my college degree. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Whitty, for sharing that.
Yes.
Because it's important. It's very important to be able to see things. I consider myself a visionary. I always go back. Remember that time I was in the magazine in Florida, the Lake magazine?
Yes.
That all came about by having a conversation with Grandma Lois inside of the dentist's office. And I said to myself, I'm going to be in this magazine one day. Now, very transparent. It wasn't a popular magazine that you saw a lot of African Americans in. It was not. But that particular year, that was in 2006 into going to 2007. So I was interviewed for that. So I said I wanted to be in the magazine. And, Grandma Lois being supportive said, yeah, you're going to be in it. I don't know if she believed it or not. But
Grandma's going to hype you up.
Grandma's going to hype you up, right?
Yeah,
so
she's going to hype you up.
Yeah, and that was on my list of like, that's something that I wanted to accomplish. So I didn't know how I was going to do it. And the guy called me, the guy from the magazine called me like within like a month or so. It was like, hey, we heard about you. You started a new production company. We want to interview you and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Now, I know good and well that Grandma Lois did not write, FaceTime or whatever it was during that time. She did not reach out to them, send a text message or whatever because she didn't know.
Right.
Maybe you could have reached out to somebody. I don't know. But that person ended up coming to our house in November. This is when I was living with Grandma. They came to our house and did a whole interview. And in February, I was in the issue of the magazine, that particular magazine that has been around for a very long time. A very long time. And that issue that came out in February 2007 was the first time that they ever had a Black person on the cover of the magazine, and also gave me a full story inside the magazine. I wasn't on the cover. It was a model on the front cover. But inside the magazine was the first time that they did this excessive story on an individual in the community that was starting a production company. And I was like 22, I think, at that time. So it was just something and that alone put me in a space in my mind to that anything that I want to achieve or anything that I want to do, I'm going to say it and I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. So I will say this. I want to tell you this. Like, I remember like when the kids were here with me and stuff, I used to talk about you all the time to them first and foremost. Like, let me tell you, Layla, I remember one time she called me. She's like, Mommy, how do I Google Uncle Von's name? on Google. And I was like, lady, what are you doing? I said, are you talking about my brother? She's like, yes, ma'am. I'm telling my friends that my uncle's famous.
Oh.
So ever since then, like, it just made my heart warm because I'm like, my brother has achieved so much in life, and it's because of you that I feel that I've also been able to achieve a lot of my goals. Especially like making lists. Man, let me tell you, you are the most organized person I know.
Right. Look, here go my list book right here. You see my highlight? I'll write down everything. Like I am the king of making a list. And the things on my list. I can't live without a list.
Yes, and I feel that it has definitely helped me throughout these last 20 years in the military because I have achieved my goals in promotion and ranking up and doing what I needed to do to go to school. Like, you inspired me to actually go back for my master's degree because I was nervous. I was scared to go back, but I'm grateful. The list is the best. I'm telling you, making a list and sticking by it and seeing it and visualizing it, actually sticking through with it, it will get you so far in life.
I know. Listen, I love a list. I love what you said about going back for your master's degree. This is going to segue into like a story that I wanted to share that I never really shared this story. So this is exclusive. So if you're watching this is a exclusive story. It may not be juicy to you. It may not be nothing fantastic or whatever the case may be. But this is a story. All right. This is story time. So when I was growing up, my grandmother, we talked about Grandma Lois, but I'm talking about my grandma Pee Wee, Grandma Lila, Grandma Pee Wee because she's short. You stated before. Grandma Pee Wee used to watch wrestling. That was like her number one thing. Like she loved wrestling. And I remember growing up, to me, I just used to be like, oh my God, this is so fascinating. Never really been into it, but just was like fascinated by it. And I would be like, who would want to like fight and like, who would want to fight each other? Like who would want to do that? So I was fascinated with it. Never really thought it was fake, but the older I got, the more I realized like, oh my God, I don't know if this is real all the way. I'm like, they don't look like they're getting hurt. So talking about master's degree, right? So I went to Full Sail, got my master's degree in creative writing because you know that I'm a writer at heart. I love to write. And so I got my degree in creative writing. The first job that I don't even know if you know this or not.
I don't think I know it. I'm listening like
listen. The first job that I was offered, as soon as I graduated with my master's degree in creative writing, the first job I was offered was to be a writer for WWE.
Oh, wow. Look, wow.
And in that moment, I said, oh my God, this is fake. Oh my God, this is fake. I never did. I'm sorry if I'm ruining dreams today. If you're watching and you're a WWE fan, I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
You want to know something though? I don't even think you know this about me, but I recently started watching it again, and I actually like it.
I know, but I'm fascinated by it. Now that I know, I think what I'm fascinated by is that because there's writers, and I'm like, because sometimes you know how like you think like you watch something and it's like dramatic, and it's just like, oh, it's so dramatic, and I'm just like, who would want to act like this? Like. Then I realized that this is strictly for entertainment purposes.
It is, yes.
And I'm like, it's entertainment. So I'm like, of course, there's writers. So now I'm just critiquing. Like I'm watching and I'm just like, would I have written that like that? Or, you know, but that was the first job that I was offered. And I turned it down because I could not fathom that this thing that I was watching all my life
has been fake this whole time.
Like it wasn't that it was fake. It was just that when I was little, I was like, oh my God, like this, they're doing this. Then I became older and I'm like, who would want to act like this? Like they're acting like the dramatics, like somebody can just like clothesline you and they're like all bucking around. And I'm like, that didn't even hurt. Like that did not hurt.
He's thinking like, come on, get on up. I think for me now, I love the show and the entertainment that they put on, but I really love the females that fight in their outfits that they wear.
I know, girl, they be acting too. Like
they do.
They had this one, and I was like, it was so dramatic. I'm like, if they don't get an Emmy for the dramatics of it all, if they don't receive awards for this, Because it was just, but it was great. It's Dr. Whitty, I gotta put this up. It's so funny. Dr. Whitty said it's not fake, Dwayne, it's choreographed.
Okay. He got a point. He does have a point.
It is well scripted. It is well scripted.
Yes. I like that because I actually enjoy it. I'm waiting to buy the video game now so me and Jamar can play it.
Listen, I love it, but I'm so here for it. Like I'm so here for it because it's one of those things to where I always said that if the opportunity ever came back again, that I may just
take up the opportunity. You never know.
I don't know. It depends what the opportunity entails because when they offered me the position, I went through like some interviews and stuff like that, and they were really trying to get me to do it, but I just could not wrap my brain around writing for wrestling. I couldn't.
Well, I will say this: like another one of my bucket lists in life, and since you brought up Grandma Pee Wee, was to actually take her to a wrestling show. So because I know.
She will lose her mind.
Yes, and we almost went. We almost went, but we ended up not being able to go due to some unforeseen circumstances. But my goal is to take Grandma Pee Wee to one of those shows because I know she absolutely loves wrestling, and she still to this day watches it.
She loves it. And I'm here for it for her, and I watch it every now and then. But it's fascinating to me to be able to just see it now, knowing that there's a team of writers who put it together, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that could have been my job, like for the WWE.
Well, I'm absolutely happy you turned it down because otherwise we wouldn't have that great book sitting behind you. So
I know. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited about that. I still can't wait to get my copy.
I know. Listen, we're gonna be like shipping out and all this stuff and getting things out there to people because I know that they're ready to read it. And I'm grateful for everybody that did the pre-orders. I am going to make it available again so that people can pre-order because it will go out and for distribution on May 3rd. That people will be able to buy it at 61 plus stores, like different from around that they'll be able to purchase from stores online. And so I'm really excited about that. So I am so grateful for this opportunity to be able to write a book and release it and give it to people. And just for this week, you'll be able to repurchase for the pre-sale. And then after that, you just have to wait till March to May 3rd. We are going to do a release and all of that kind of stuff. But I am so grateful. I'm really, really grateful.
And I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. I'm so happy. I'm happy to say that I know an author personally.
I know, right?
I know a famous author personally.
So I just want to come back to because our show is coming to an end. I knew it was going to go fast. It's almost time for the show to end, but I want to go back as we're talking about like the bucket list and and creating people. The profound impact I'll say that creating a bucket list can have on you, or creating a goal list and setting those achievable things that we talked about in the beginning, is that once you create this, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Achieving goals from your bucket list fosters a sense of accomplishment and boosts self-esteem. This feeling of success can empower individuals to pursue other dreams and challenges, reinforcing and beliefs in their capabilities. And so, like when I think about this labor of love, nobody saw the bag. Did you see the bag?
Look handsome, my handsome brother.
When I think about this, like I said in the beginning, it really encourages me to be able to feel like I can do more. And what it also has done, it has really increased my appreciation for life, because it shows me that I can achieve anything that I put my mind to. And not only that, being able to say I can do anything I put my mind to, it broadens my horizons to say, like, okay, I did this particular style. What else can I do? So thinking about like enhancing your resilience, shifting my priorities, fostering connections, all of those things. So I'm really excited about this opportunity to really tell this. And then also, most importantly, and most people know that my niece and nephew are with me, my sister's kids, that they're here because she's traveling the world and they're here with me. But one of the things that creating a bucket list does is that it gives legacy and storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I think about that, it gives you an opportunity to really just be able to share the stories with your children, your great grandchildren. When I have kids, they'll be able to know some of the things that I've accomplished. And I hope through my life that they are able to see that if I can do it, you can do it as well.
Yes.
Okay. So before we do our final words, I have to take this moment to give a special shout out and happy birthday to our mother. Her birthday is today. And
Yes.
Mom, we just want to say that we love you. We appreciate you. My post is coming very, very soon. It's been a very, very busy day. And I'm going to call you as well. But happy birthday. I love you so, so much. And I hope that, that I really sincerely pray that God gives you many, many more years on this earth to celebrate. And I really pray that the things that you've prayed for in life, that you see them come to fruition as well. So I love you and happy birthday to you.
Yes. Happy birthday, mommy. Happy birthday. We love you.
So, sister, this is our time. So, do you have any final words that you want to share before we leave?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for this opportunity and giving me a chance to come on and be on your podcast. But I also want to say that I hope everyone has been inspired to at least start their bucket list and to do what it is that they would like to achieve in life. Like, don't let anything stop you from doing that. Don't get too busy with work. Don't get too busy with kids. Start living your life. Life is short. You never know when it'll come to an end. We got to go one day, but don't let it be today. Start living your life so that way you can have a story to tell to your future kids and grandkids and great grands. But I enjoy myself. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. But thank you so much for joining the show with me tonight. Again, our co-host Ana, my regular co-host, couldn't be with us tonight, but hopefully she'll be back on next Monday. But sister, I thank you so much for joining me. This was fun. This is what I really wanted us to do one day, and I'm glad we got an opportunity to do it. So thank you so much for dropping everything that you were doing. Despite how you may be feeling, you look beautiful. You look great. I can't wait to hug you. Happy birthday to you again, that you celebrated your birthday on March 15th. And so I'm glad you get on up there, girl. But in conclusion, in this summary, and I'm thinking about completing the bucket list adventure, like when we talk about the bucket list adventure tonight, it can significantly alter a person's outlook on life by fostering growth, resilience, connection, and a deeper appreciation for the journey. So these experiences can serve as the catalyst for positive change and a renewed sense of purpose in your life. So the mission and the goal is honestly for you to be able to achieve some things that you desire to do. So my goal for you tonight is that you create your bucket list and you do all the things that your heart so desire so that you can live your life more abundantly. Thank you so much to everybody for watching our show tonight. I love you. I appreciate you. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.